Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to the Great War mod for Napoleon Total War. Today we have a glorious Russian charge against the German and Turkish line. Me and Apollo wanted to jump into an online battle and just kind of have fun with this mod. So what we decided to do is we decided to both of us play on either side of the battlefield and we each get an AI to support us. So it should be a lot of fun. The Russian orders are to charge forward and charge onto the German line. That's why the balance of power is slightly in my favour at the moment with my French ally, but it should be a really fun battle. Apollo set up several traps which you can already see starting to go out, and my god, that's loud. I hope it's I hope the sounds of war do not deafen me and deafen you guys as I push up my machine gunners at the beginning. So we'll go on slow-mo for now and just kind of run through the basic gist of the army comps, but this will take, I'll do this in like literally a minute. So on my front line, I have a machine gunner moving up. This is going to be a really good forward emplacement, which is going to help me out. Then behind that, I have a whole bunch of these Russian conscripts just trying to use weight of numbers to push forward and just throw bodies at Apollo's line. And again, these models look so nice. I really love the textures they've done as my soldiers are getting picked away. I really love the bayonets on these rifles. They look amazing. So that's kind of my main front line. Then behind that, I have some more of my Imperial Guard. These guys are my elite infantry. They're awesome. Behind that, I have some of my assault infantry. These guys are really good in combat. They're using carbines, so they shoot a lot quicker. But if we look at my French ally, they again just have a ton of these conscripts. Feel like littering the soldiers. So I was really just going for, you know, mass men. And again, real nice amount of detail on the rifles. Really are. That looks amazing. They also have some sharpshooters as well, so hopefully the AI is going to use that. They also have more conscripts, and I believe they're pushing their more elite infantry, which we can see over here. The Chasseurs Alpines, which are moving up this mountain. I believe these are mountain infantry, and they're actually being used along the mountain, which is kind of cool. They also have a Mark II tank, so that'll be nice to see that with two huge cannons right there. Again, the detail in this mod, I really have not played it enough to just enjoy that. That's awesome. As well as that, I have 2 units infantry over here, which are pushing up 2 units of conscripts, which are about to get, you know, into a rude awakening by Apollo's infantry, which are about to meet me. So Apollo does have these stormtroopers, these assault infantry, just set up across this entire plane, which really took me off guard and wrecks me really in this battle. But, you know, my orders were just to charge forward. So the rest of Apollo's infantry is some rifles of old. These guys are obviously really good at long distance. He also has some more rifles old, so he's got a really nice defensive line, which my Russians will be charging onto. More rifles, more rifles. 2 tanks over here. We've got 2 female tanks right here. They have machine guns instead of cannons, so hopefully the French tank can do work against them. As well as that, he has 2 emplacements of these heavy howitzers, which are going to be brutal to deal with. And then finally, the Ottomans over here have some pretty standard infantry, some Imperial Guards, so these dudes are going to be nasty. Some more rifles old. Again, a really good infantry unit. More rifles old. Here's his general back there. Anything else of interest? We have some more heavy howitzers here, which are just about to shoot, which are kind of cool. Again, I love the Ottoman uniform as well. It's very nice. And that's about it for now. We can't really see the full of it. So let's continue, and then we'll start the battle by first off watching the artillery shells just coming in and sending people flying. Apollo also did charge out and take care of my machine gun, which was a really smart move by him. He managed to, you know, completely wipe out this really effective unit by using his ambush tactics. He has a lot of these stormtroopers which are just scattered around the battlefield, and he's going to be using these dudes just to come in and out of the forest. I have now stopped my my line advance, and I'm using my conscripts just to open up with sheer force. My god. The explosions, sheer amount of firepower. Men are going flying right now. This is a brutal advance, and Apollo's artillery are going to be having a field day here, just popping away at our conscripts, which are, you know, now stationary. We need to keep on moving. If we get into melee, then we get into melee, because at the moment, these conscripts, even though they are cheap, are just getting torn apart. My god. This is biding time for the French to advance, though. We have a Foreign Legion over here, which are pushing forward, getting closer and closer to these stormtroopers, which I guess is good for us. And oh my lord. This is amazing. It really, really is. So as well as that, Apollo is holding me pretty firmly. His stormtroopers are doing a very good job in melee against my conscripts. My conscripts just aren't, you know, trained in melee fighting that well compared to these stormtroopers who are veterans in this combat. I do, however, have some carbine infantry. My assault infantry are firing hard at the enemy forces, just putting in so many rounds into that forest. As many rounds as they can just to whittle down. We've already got him down to half health, so we need to keep on pushing. Apollo is pushing across his infantry right here, we can see. And if we look back at the main advance, you can see the artillery is just slaughtering us right now. So many dead as we try and cross no man's land. It's a brutal, brutal advance. And as well as that, Apollo's stormtroopers are just slowing us up, you know, because if he can commit, you know, 17 of these stormtroopers into holding up, you know, 100 or whatever of the French troops or the Russian troops, then these guys can really just allow the artillery just to slaughter them. The stormtroopers are very, very brave. They're probably going to die here. This is going to be their graves, but they're going to fight bravely to slow the Russian advance. Because just look how many dead are already laying on the floor. Just brutal. This mod does an amazing job with the artillery just to make it look so cinematic. Sending soldiers flying. My God. Forward, boys! Anyone who retreats will be shot. I mean, I don't know what I'd rather be shot or blown up like this, because there's so many poles being created from the artillery shells. Again, another direct hit, you can see. Oh my God, that was like right on us. That made me jump a little bit. This battle is awesome already, just because of the sheer amount of artillery. And I think the French general, my AI French general, actually just got blown up by an artillery shell. The German artillery is definitely just causing us so much issues. And as well as that, the Ottoman artillery, I think, is also causing us a big problem. The French are, however, pushing up pretty convincingly over on top of a mountain. They do have this mountain infantry. So, you know, this is their fighting area to fight these guys. I also tried to push up my my Russian cavalry, my mounted soldiers up here to try and get at the Ottoman artillery, but they were pushed back by these Imperial Guard Grenadier infantry. So the Ottomans did a pretty good job there. But again, this advance through no man's land is not proving fruitful whatsoever. The French are getting pushed back. My Russians are also here, running onto the rifle infantry. By the looks of it, we are going to make it through the woods and onto the rifles. But I don't know how much morale we have here now, as the rifles are ready to meet us and push us back. You can see they're already taking pot shots off at the soldiers as they try and advance. More conscripts pushing in, but these rifles are so strong. And look at so many of my Russian conscripts just getting pushed down. They are getting a good charge on, but I don't know if it's enough right now. More artillery. That is a machine gun from the tank coming in there, just shredding through my conscripts, hitting a few of Apollo's own men as well, which is good for me. But the fact that, you know, look at that, it's just tearing through, my God, just tearing through these routing troops. The tank is way too much right now. I still have plenty of Russian infantry to send. As well as that, we have a small little engagement over here. I believe we have my assaults going in against his stormtroopers. But the sheer amount of fire, just being stationary and shooting onto the oncoming infantry. Look at that. My men are getting absolutely slaughtered right now. It is just brutal for the Russian advance. It really, really is. But I believe in the will of the Russians to hold on and push forward. You brave, brave soldiers. I'm just proud of them that they're dying and holding their lines. You know, a few of them have routed, but not too many of them. So I'm happy with that. So the battle is not looking good for the Russian advance right now, but we will persevere. We will push on. No surrender, no retreat. So I have decided now with my more elite infantry, they are going to hold the line here. We have a French cavalry coming up. Some coursiers, which actually look like they're from the Napoleonic times, but maybe not because of the chevrons and stuff. Maybe they are. But my Imperial Guard are going to be taking the range engagement, because that's what they're good for. We also have some rifles behind that shooting overhead. So these guys are going to be decent at doing that. It's going to be kind of hard because we're going to be shooting through the woods, which isn't going to be the most ideal situation. As well as that, we're setting up another unit of Imperial Guards, actually gunning down our own conscripts who are in the way. Get out the way, men! This is a true the Russian style. Shooting through our men. We don't give a damn about lives. We just want to push on. More artillery shells coming in. I think the artillery has definitely been the MVP of this battle. The amount of explosions and stuff has just been brutal. The French doing an amazing job up here. My AI actually doing really smart. He's got his mountain infantry up here shooting down on the Germans, which is super, super smart. I did not expect my ally to do that whatsoever. And these guys are going to be volleying down on the enemy. As well as that, they are pushing up more of their mountain brigades. Closer and closer. Got some soldiers sneaking through the woods. I believe this is their sniper team. They're going to get them over the hill, and then they're obviously going to be taking pot shots off. Again, the detail in the rifles is very, very nice. They've definitely done their research on these. And these guys, as soon as they peek over the ridge, they're going to be opening up on these Ottoman conscripts. Artillery shells just falling a bit short there as the Ottomans move up. And I believe the mountain brigades are probably going to have to form up as soon as they can to start shooting down the hill at them. Look how many shells have fallen short and hit this mountain. That's pretty disgusting. The snipers, no! You're not meant to be going into melee combat. The AI throwing in the snipers to just slaughter. Maybe that's to hold up them up whilst the mountain brigades slaughter them. If we look back in the main fight, Apollo has decided to push on his soldiers now and take this fight. My Imperial Guard will not give up lightly, though. These are the best of the best. They are going to be shooting through the woods, hopefully finding their targets. Obviously, their shots are not going to be hitting because of the trees, but again, the enemy shots are not going to be hitting as much because of the trees. So, it's kind of bad for me because I'm not killing his men, but it also means that he can't kind of kill my men as well. I believe the French are also engaged with the Foreign Legion right now as well. The Foreign Legion are fighting bravely against the rifle battalions of the old. And you also have some of my Russian conscripts here as well. Or are these even Imperial Guard? No, these are my conscripts being pushed in. We're trying to fight back alongside the Foreign Legion in the trees. This looks awesome. It really, really does. Especially with the artillery shots as well. That artillery barrage in the beginning was just epic. It was so glorious. It really, really was. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle, or are enjoying this battle so far. It's not a super long one, but it's really cinematic, and I hope you guys like it. Well, looks at it, the conscripts are actually going to be pushing through on this Russian line. The Ottomans are making a big push up the mountain, though. They are again under heavy fire, but they can definitely hold their own. These are Imperial Guards, so the French even moving in some more of their conscripts to hold the line as best they can. This has just turned into such a brutal melee now. It really has. Several Ottomans getting slaughtered. The French are overwhelming them on this flank. But they also have to turn around and deal with the Ottomans down the hill. More French are reinforcing right now. And by the looks of it, my conscripts are pushing on through the woodland. But the Foreign Legion has betrayed them right now, and it's just the conscripts going on to certain death. I do not expect these guys to hold for much longer. But as long as they buy time for the Imperial Guard just to open up into the melee, then maybe we might stand a chance. Just fire, fire, fire everything we have. Both our generals are now dead as well. Does not look good for us, but we will persevere. We are Russian. We will send as many bodies that are needed to win the day. The artillery has now been overwhelmed by Apollo's infantry pushing in. And you can see the battle is not looking good for me and the French. How are the French doing right now? I believe their tank is still alive. Yeah, they still have their tank, and they still have a unit of this mountain brigade, which is shooting down the mountain at the Turkish as they advance. These are boys. Some of these shots some of these explosions, barrages are just finding direct targets right there. And there we go. The Ottomans are pushing onto the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard will hold this line though. They've been issued the order for no retreat, no surrender, and that's what they'll do. Even though in some circumstances it looks like they're getting cornered and destroyed in the woodland as the Ottomans push on hard. Necks being broken, stomachs being stabbed. It's just a crazy, crazy engagement. As well as this, over on this left side, they're also being overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Germans. Push them back into the abyss. You brave Russians. I feel like the numbers are just not on our side. That initial artillery barrage was so brutal that we just did not have the men to fill in. It's a real shame you can't properly get the 40 unit stack, like not like as effectively as you can in later games, because it'd be awesome having like a 40 stack Russian army just charging down the enemy. That would be pretty cool. But I think this is going to be the last remaining stand of the Imperial Guard. As I said, they are fighting to the last. 9 men left there. 13 Ruskies are running over there. And this is my last stand. The last brave Imperial Guard. They will be told in history of the 9 Russians who held back the German advance when everyone else failed. And there we go. I feel that's the last of them. They have finally fallen. Is that the last remaining force of the Russians? Yeah, I am completely out of men now. The last forces are just the few soldiers which remain up here, which I can't imagine will stand around for much longer. So if you guys want to see more of this and you want to see more scenarios, like, you know, maybe I have 3 allies, maybe I'm playing Russia and I have 2 AI as Russians on my side, and I charge down Apollo's like infantry line or something because he's playing as the Germans or something in a defensive position, and we just send men after men after men at Apollo's defense or something along those lines. You know, feel free to give me ideas down below. Then please do let me know, because that'd be awesome for sure. You know, this mod is a lot of fun, and I definitely want to do more of it going forward because, as I said, you know, it is a lot of fun. So please do let me know. But yeah, I got wrecked during this battle. The artillery barrages were just brutal. I mean, you guys saw firsthand just the sheer amount of damage. We can even look at it quickly. Just look at this. Look at the amount of dead. This is all from the artillery. Just French and Ruskies just laying dead as we tried to advance no man's land. I guess there's a reason it's called no man's land. Just so much dead before we even got into a rifle firefight. You know, this is where my machine guns fell at the beginning of the battle, which was just really brutal for me. 1 lone Russian soldier running, trying to find if anyone's still alive. But it doesn't look like anyone is alive. So much death, so much destruction. And then the final stand up here is going to be overwhelmed by the Ottoman soldiers. They're going to be charging on, fighting the last of the French. These are just conscripts, so amazingly the conscripts held to the last. Soldiers just come flying out of the smoke. So brutal. They're so cinematic, and I think that's going to be it right now. They're going to get overwhelmed. Remember, the French tank is going to be next, as more of the soldiers come fleeing. And they're going to be pushing on to the last French tank just to destroy this. So that is pretty much the battle. There we go. There we have it. You can see Apollo killed 3,000 men. Just utterly brutal. I would love to see Apollo. I really hope Apollo does this battle, because I want to see how many kills his artillery got, because I imagine it was just utterly disgusting, just shredding through my Rusky advance. You can see I started off with 3,000 men. I did have a lot of conscripts in my army, but that was kind of the whole point of me playing Russia. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment and give me ideas about what you want me to do on this mod. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. And fish out.